All right. I'm just going to go over the intraday trends. The bottom chart is the one I'm looking at right here, not the top one. The top one is just like a higher time frame. Just think of it as like a higher time frame, but instead of time frame, we're using brick size. And basically, the idea is exactly the same. You all already know. Use higher time frame, lower time frame, or higher brick size, lower brick size. All right. So what happened here? I'm just going to show some trends intraday. So here you basically have an uptrend, and it's kind of weird. I'll explain this later. But the market is tending to spring much more often. So you need to be cognizant of that because that impacts the type of trades. In any case, right here, this is where the market encountered supply, where it says supply right here. And this is the Dow, by the way. So right here, it encountered supply and had a confirmation low, which after that, what did it do? It did an upthrust. So you see these types of behaviors where you have springs and upthrusts, and you have to be really careful because that's what's going on in the indexes right now, where you're having more more pullbacks to the extremes. This upthrust, for example, was purposely here to take out this area. The market was, is going down, so, and then finally it ends the trend here. Now you're going to notice again, demand it was in this area, but take a look at what the market did. Right across this area, ding ding, and reverse. What is this? It's a spring. Okay, now go back here. What is this? These lows? Spring. The market right now is tending to spring. Let me get these moving averages off. I can't stand them. There, it's clearer now. Let's just put this other stuff away for now. Alright, so just look at the center here. You'll notice at this point over here, supply came in. Supply came in, volume increased, then it really increased right here. When it took out the lows, it increased significantly right here. 17 over here, 1,700 contracts. We had 2,600 contracts after doing an upthrust. After doing an upthrust of this high, just selling, selling, selling. Then doing one more upthrust and then, breaking down into a spring. And from the spring, doing that. So what is this telling you? All it's telling you, be mindful of the possibility of a spring against your long positions, especially. Long positions, if you get in, you might have to re-enter. How can you re-enter if you get screwed out by a spring? It's very important to be able to re-enter the market. How do you do it? All right, so let's say you have a spring, or let's say you got in here, got stopped out, right? What you'll notice with springs, you go down, 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 you have a breakout on heavy volume. Then you have a reversal that takes out the breakout. So, question, how is it that you have a high volume breakout and then immediate reversal? And then you have 1 and 2 attempts to continue to go lower, but instead you break out to the upside. So when these breakouts fail against a support low, and immediately you want to take a look at two things. One, high volume going back up. That'll tell you for legit right there. Okay, spring. Why? What happened? The spring found demand, and demand this took it back above support level. The other thing is, once these high volume breakouts get to the downside, because it's really a false breakout here. then you can see that it got taken out by a breakout on the upside. So that'll also tell you. Let's see what told you over here. The market goes into that spring position and you have a wave with that breakout to the upside. So you had the breakout to the downside, ding, ding, and then breakout to the upside. So when you basically have a breakout to the downside, and instead you have volume and breaking out to the upside right after that, you know it's a spring. Why? Because you have to find evidence that it's not about finding breakouts, it's about finding demand. When it goes to below support, is there strong demand that is found by the spring? That's the question. Does the spring, if it's a spring, it's going to find demand. It's not going to be a feeble, not only is there a lack of follow through, that's the first thing I should have said, but the second thing is an expression of demand on the way back up. Here, that demand was expressed as a rally of 1, 2, 3, 4 bricks, which is bigger than all of these small little rallies in the background. That's how demand expressed itself with the breakout as well, but really it's like green, 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 green. That's telling you that that the spring found demand because of green, 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 green. Back up. That actually took out the prior high. The other place was the failure and the rally, and then these two little tests and the breakout. Okay, now I would have preferred to have heavy volume or a bigger price wave up, but the fact that it has high volume here and a test of it, that's telling me something. That's saying that the supply pressure is gone. Even if there's no strong evidence that demand is coming back in, we know that supply pressure is gone. So, and then, you have to take a look at some other markets. But I would prefer if there's very strong demand and when it goes up. In this case, it just pops up, takes out the high of the breakout, the downside, attempts to go down, fail, attempt to go down, and then increasing volume here versus some strength. Because this is the biggest out of all the bricks since the breakdown. All right. So just be mindful of what's going on in the market. It's the treacherous. Be mindful of the springs. One of the things you want to see is in your changes of behavior or whatever, impulse, whatever it is, look for very high volume, reversing the market up. All right. And even in that case, be ready for it to be sprung. You will notice that when it's sprung, it doesn't have follow through and immediately comes back up, giving the appearance of shortening of the thrust or of a very shallow spring. So all of that will help you determine whether you want to re-enter. Thank you all.